Now here's a Seamaster that I can get behind. This is the Omega Seamaster Pro 300 37th America's Cup Barcelona 2024. If I'm completely honest, I might catch some flack from this, but I don't watch the America's Cup and all that stuff. So like, I probably don't appreciate it as much as some people would, but I just like this watch for the fact that it's a white dial, no date. So that's just my perspective. If you like it because of the America's Cup, Barcelona 2024, then maybe that's your jam. So let's get into this. Before we do, I have to say big thanks to Exquisite Timepieces, Naples, Florida, my authorized dealer for Omega and 60 other brands, as well as a massive pre-owned collection. So they have the goods. And this is, case in point. They just have this in stock. Now, I don't think it's necessarily a limited edition, but it is a Barcelona 2024. We're already in 2025. I've seen this before where Omega has done some watches similar to this, and the supply just kind of dries up. They don't keep making them. So, although, yeah, it's not limited, but if you want one, I would say, like me, like I like new watches. If you want one new, I would say sooner rather than later, potentially grab one of these. Obviously, they'll float around on the secondary market, but I have no idea what the price will do. Very well could go up once the supply dries up. So let's get into the size. It's classic size for these modern Seamasters. It is 42 millimeter case. It is a 42 millimeter case. The lug to lug is a 49.9. The thickness is 13.8, double dome sapphire crystal with AR coating. Excellent crystal. Disappears. The lug opening is 20 millimeter. Bracelet tape, nope, bracelet doesn't taper. Maybe one day they'll do it. Not today though. But I will say they did add a quick release function for the end link. So if you want to swap that out to their factory rubber strap or one of their fabric straps or whatever your strap of choice is, it's a little easier to do. So that's at least a step in the right direction, I think. The bracelet doesn't really need to taper because it's at 20 mil, so it would be nice if it did, but I don't know how you would do it with this style, like, the classic Omega style bracelet. And then you have a 6.3 millimeter screw down signed crown, keeping the 300 meter water resist. You have the helium escape valve off to the side here. Ceramic bezel insert with a little bit different layout. It's the regatta scale with the regatta flag. This is to indicate you have a 5-minute pre-start, which I would appreciate in any sort of racing that I might be potentially doing. I would also like a 5-minute head start. So, yeah, I appreciate it. So, or pre-start. That's not a head start. We're talking two different things. I still want the head start, though. And then on the case back, you have a display case back showing off the 8806 no date automatic movement. And you have the America's Cup, or I think it's called the Old mug, and then the B logo for the Barcelona 2024. But you can see how the case back is done. It's done in that way where it lines up always. I forget what that's called. You guys will help me out with that in the comments. And then, of course, you have the quick toolless quick adjust on the clasp system as well. Price point on this, it is a little bit over because you can get that monochrome, the black one, which Exquisite has that too. I think those are like current snapshot in time is $5,900. These are $6,500. And then you have the 120 click scalloped bezel. Great action going all the way around. Maybe a little tricky to grip. And then the handset you can see is like blued, except for the tip of the minute hand, which is red and skeletonized, of course. And then the balance on the second hand also is that old mug, if I'm saying that right. If I'm not, go ahead and correct me. That's fine. Ceramic dial, huge applied markers filled with a ton of lume. Love the lyre lugs, deep finishing. It's just, you can't go wrong with these watches, guys. Let me pop it on wrist and I'll show you what I mean. If they only made this in titanium, oh shoot, they do make this in titanium. The No Time to Die, and it's a no date. I love that watch, but holy cow, I don't know if I love it enough to like, these are so good, and I have the white dial, and I really need a strong white dial. This is a strong contender. I'm trying not to buy because I already had my left-hand drive Tudor Peli, which I'll show you side by side of that in a second. But I could see picking one of these up. And I'm going to probably have to do, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to have to take my own advice, which I said sooner rather than later. So I'm going to talk to my contact, Tyler at Exquisite, and maybe arrange something. It gets tricky. It gets tricky for sure. Did I mention this thickness? 13.8 millimeter thick. So reasonable. So think about that. 13.8, the old classic Seiko SKX is 13.5 millimeter. So these are really good sizes. And I think these two would look really good in the collection. You have those warm tones of the LHD Tudor, which Exquisite carries Tudor as well. And then you have those bright, clear, classy looking colors of this watch here. Let's give it a, I need to separate those hands. We need to get those spread out before we do the Lume shot. Forward here. Ooh, look at that. 10-10. Excellent crown action on this. All right, let's give it a quick blast with UV. We'll do the Tudor too. We'll do both. We'll do both. Turn off the studio lights. Dual colored Lume. So you have the green on the pip for the bezel tied to the minute hand because that's how you time things. And then blue on the rest. Very similar to the bluish green color or whatever that's on the Tudor. So would be cool if they loomed out the bezel. Omega. Let's lume the bezel. At least part of it, or all of it. Just do all of it. Tudor did all of it. And maybe rework the bracelet, taper it. And I'm sure there's a bunch of people out there saying, like, if we're going to go through the trouble of doing all that, can we get rid of the helium escape valve? I don't really need it. I actually like the valve, but I'll make concessions. To get a taper and a full lume bezel, if that means we have to exclude the... What are we talking about? We don't get to pick. Omega gets to pick. Whatever. I'll see you guys on the next vid. Thanks for watching.